Hey guys, welcome back to The Core. I am Arinda, your host, hairstylist and life coach, and I'm here once again with my beautiful friend and co-host, licensed marriage and family therapist, Miss Kahara.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
So what we're doing today, we're going to be talking. We have wonderful men on our panel today to talk a little bit about the manosphere.
Yes.
So if you guys haven't heard about it, basically Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, was a conversation that we were having about women being submissive and how hard it is to date and what we are doing wrong according to men and what men are doing about it. So we're just having a conversation about that.
So what qualifies these handsome gentlemen? Don is single, and he's also our director of photography, and he has a whole lot to say. Sarge,
A little bit.
Sarge, the handsome guy with the locks, is Kahara's husband
He's
that
my
we hear
boo.
so much
Hey, boo.
about. And Kiana
Right.
has been on the show before. He is the one that is I guess between the single and the married. He wants to be married, but he's having issues with finding the right mate. So that is what qualifies these gentlemen to be here.
So we would love to start just with you guys' perspective about what are your thoughts, feelings about dating as men, or what has it been? How has it evolved over time? What are your perspectives on that?
You want to take that?
The evolution of dating, I would say, well, obviously we have online dating now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of sucks. I don't know about.
Sucks a lot.
Yeah, it's very repetitive, tedious
It's ridiculous.
interactions that are pretty much the same.
But is that from why? I mean, why? Because I know a lot of people are online. So what about it sucks for men? Because I thought it was great for men.
Well, certain things don't really work as well online versus in person. You know, an in-person interaction, you could pick up on things very quick. You know, and body language. You know, it's just natural. Online, it's
Robotic.
performative. It's performative,
Robotic.
premeditated. It's like, well, I'm gonna tell this next chick I match with that I'm a
'Cause
astrophysicist.
It's really
Right.
it's really a hookup site. That's
Astro-
why it's not. It's really a hookup site from a standpoint of it's not really something that's. There's a small percentage that take it seriously, like they're actually looking for someone, and then it also depends on what site you're on.
So,
Right.
small percentage of men and women.
And
You
women.
take both.
I think both. I think there's a
Interesting.
small percentage of both. I think that there's the percentage of men is smaller
Yeah.
than the percentage of women on the dating sites that's looking to go into something serious from that aspect.
Yeah.
I think personally, I'm old school, so I like to feel. I like to think of myself as being hands-on, and nothing beats in person. Nothing beats in person. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Well, I think that what happened to catapult the dating sites was COVID, right? I feel like some people were on the dating sites prior to COVID, but because COVID happened, nobody could go anywhere and meet anybody. So a lot of my clients turned to online.
But that was
to-
a small percentage too, because online it's been used as a hookup site for years.
Yeah, I know that. I know
I mean,
that there are
heavy.
people.
I know dudes that just go on there like he's with a different girl every night, and every
On the prowl.
yeah, it's like he's that's it.
Wow.
And, he was on Plenty of Fish. He was on all
He
these
been
different.
on
POF
MySpace.
is
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
way
crazy.
back MySpace
this dude
days.
he was doing. Now here's the crazy thing about this though. Here's the interesting thing about this whole thing. Every night he'd have a different girl. Don't get me wrong. He was meeting some fine women. I'm not even gonna front. I was like, okay, all right, player, I see you. And you know what was interesting is that one of the girls that he met, he was denying her, and ended up being with her. Like he is now with her, probably 6 years now.
Interesting.
Like so, he's not even on the site anymore, on any of the sites.
You know
And
why?
it just happened.
You gotta use the mic.
Oh, sorry.
It just happened because he wasn't even trying to go that route. He was happy doing what he was doing. He was hopping,
Okay,
and he
so
was successful at it.
here's the thing, though. I think that this starts the conversation because if we're talking about men finding women who are submissive and all of that, you're pointing to probably a reason why women are not submissive, right? Is that you guys are on the prowl looking for the pretty girl, looking for, who you cannot claim or an
Some of
That's
us are
one
on the
aspect.
prowl.
That's
and
an
looking for the
interesting way
pretty.
of looking at
I'm
it.
just saying.
Yeah,
You don't want to
that's an
blanket
interesting
that.
way of
You
looking
don't want
at
to
it.
blanket that.
You
Go ahead.
You
Sorry
see
to
what she's
interrupt.
doing? You
Sorry
see
to
what she's
interrupt.
doing, though, right? She's
No,
trying
exactly
to back
Yes,
us. No, she's trying to back
what-
us into
what
a closet right
happened-
now.
Don't let them do
what
that.
has happened over time is we have had to find reasons to protect ourselves.
Okay, here-
Right?
Absolutely.
And so we have to be more independent as a result of that because
Is that
not only
Ooh.
so I will say that slavery, this is my belief, slavery, it started with slavery where the slave owners tore apart the family.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Right?
I agree
Absolutely.
100%.
And then what happened was women had to get equipped to figure out how to
Survive and take
Survive,
care of the family by
take care of their
themselves.
families.
let's
Men
well,
were incarcerated more often.
true.
So there's such thing as generational trauma where
curses.
we over time develop in our DNA an understanding of how we need to be in the world, an aversion to what is happening in the world.
Well, let's not forget
Yes.
though the aspect that pushed you into that. It wasn't the black man's abandonment. You were stripped of that from a slavery standpoint.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah.
what I'm saying is, but y'all taking on this aspect of it's independent. We had to do this and we had to do. Wait a minute, hold on, let me finish. Wait, no, 'cause
Baby,
she just no. 'cause
I
I'm
feel
just-
like I'm playing the organ.
I'm just no. Wait
in
a minute.
we're gonna be singing,
we're gonna-
reading your eulogy.
No, but hold on.
1 second.
Listen, at least you'll be saying something good about
Yeah,
me.
yes.
'Cause you can't say nothing bad
It
in the
depends on what
eulogy
you
about
say
somebody.
next.
No,
You're
no,
right.
no. I'm just saying no. What I'm saying to you is this: the aspect of from the basis of the slavery aspect. I agree that women had to watch their men be sodomized in front of them and emasculated in order to break the family apart to begin with. That was the idea. If you ever get a chance to read this, it's not a pamphlet. It's an actual book. How to train your N-word, for the sake of the podcast. How to train your N-word, and it describes in there exactly the strategy behind breaking the black family, and that came with sodomizing the male counterpart in front of her and in front of the children, and then taking him and selling him off. So now the abandonment sets in because to the woman, that was her protection.
Yes.
So to watch that happen in front of her, it's like, I don't have any protection because now you've become the mistress to the slave master. Because now he's creeping in your bedroom every night while his wife is knowing this. His wife is knowing that he's creeping into the slave quarters and sleeping with all the slave women because he can now because you don't have no protection.
Right.
You don't have no protection because he's sold off. And if you have a male child, he will try to break him. And if he is too strong-willed, he'll sell him off as well. So you don't have anybody around to protect you. And all the other slave men is not going to do anything. They're going to step in. They're trying to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And then
I
they
think
pit
that
themselves
a
against each
theme
other.
of what I hear, especially from black women too, is that they do not feel protected by black men.
Understandable.
And that's what I was going to say. Like I felt like a step, an infraction was skipped in what you were saying because the black man, of course, getting sold off, right? Then you're saying that we now have taken on this independence, but there's a modern day black man that still has that mentality.
Yes.
Very
and
true.
so there is something that I feel happened to him, of course, back in slavery, that has now carried on to
Yes.
modern day.
Exactly.
And that is what has created women's to be so independent, is because I feel like we're created to help. So we always would love to have a covering, an adequate covering. But if you're inadequate, we have learned how to do this thing without you.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa. Because we're skipping something right now. Now we're skipping something that's very detriment to this entire conversation. Because understand something. No, I want you to understand something.
Okay.
Because we can say that. We can say all that and have it as a point. But let's go back to right after the aspects of slavery. That was not the case. Even after slavery. You go back to the 60s, even though there's certain places still was slavery, 60s, 70s, even in the 80s, the families were together. So that I call BS on that, because the independent aspect came later from a standpoint. It started there, but then it didn't continue because the black families actually stuck together through those time periods. And then it picked up.
I don't
No.
agree. I don't agree.
I
I think that they stuck together. I agree with you on them sticking together, but why did they stick together? It wasn't because of integrity in the household. It was because the woman was committed to staying no matter what. There was a
And I
completely
give you
different
that.
type of woman.
No,
back
and
then.
I give you that. I give
Okay.
you that. I just think that I'm not listen, I'm not taking away from anything that the black woman has actually your stature, first of all, it should be on high. Should be on high. The problem is that you have dissension in the generations. You two women here have a different ideology than the modern day woman. You're not a modern day woman. You're dealing with the modern day aspects of what's going on out in the world, but you're not a modern day woman because you were raised with morals.
Right.
You was raised with the idea of backing your man when you actually have a man who actually can call himself a man.
Right.
These are little boys out
We
here.
come from
Yes.
we were raised by the village.
Very different. We were raised by the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're having this conversation, and I think that we have to be able to, divide these elements, because the reason why things get heated in conversations like this is because no one's really understanding that you can't put them together. They're two different ideologies, period. You may be thinking this way. Someone else, I was having a conversation with him. I was dealing with this catering event. It was a prom. This just happened last night, a prom. And it was dealing with a very rich school. These kids they privileged like nobody's business. They got money coming out the pores. And me and the guy that was standing next to me, we're looking at all this table. Now we're talking 700 people. We looked at a table. 9 people at the table. 9 guys at one table, right? We looked behind them. 9 women at one table. I'm like, wait a minute, ain't these people supposed to be on dates? Aren't they supposed to be on this? This is a prom. I don't remember my prom being like this. I
Right.
remember us going in, being together, dancing, trying to, it was a different idea of approach. And one of the girls came over to the table and we asked her, I was like, what do you think of this little scene that's happening right here? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, there's 9 guys at that table and no women. What's going on there? Like, and then there's 9 women at the table behind them. Like, I don't understand what's happening here. And again, I was having this conversation with him, and I forget the word that she used when describing men, but it was derogatory. It was very interesting. You're 16, 17 years old on a prom, but your idea of them was kind of really in the negative sense, like they was, I don't know, they could be together or whatever. But the women, I said, well, why all those women together? She said, oh, because we're independent.
Ah.
Okay, you're independent. So you paid for this. You paid for your own prom, huh? Is that what you're telling me? You paid for everything. You went and got your dress. You did. Mommy and daddy didn't take care of nothing. She said, no, of course not. Well, then you ain't independent.
I want to interject there with the whole independent.
Siri trying to be in the conversation.
Oh, I want to just interject there with the independence thing, because I would argue that I was pretty independent before I met you, and I'm curious. Do you feel like my independence got in the way of us being together?
So to answer your question, no. But first, I want to say I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
We're happy to
so
have you.
I don't think so. Because I think the topic, I'm listening to both sides, and I think the topic was about dating and stuff, and I'm hearing various sides. For for my specific situation, independence wasn't a problem. I think I was in a position in my life where I wanted to receive someone, so I did a lot of self work. I wanted to make sure that I was setting myself up for success in terms of like what I wanted, what I projected, and wanted my life to be. So when we met, you know, I felt like we were equally yoked, you know, so that you had your stuff together, I had my stuff together. We checked off a lot of boxes, and yeah, it just worked. It fit.
But you also said you were a traditional man, I think. You like the traditional roles. You said that in our very first encounters.
Right. So I guess I should elaborate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I'm Gen X. I'm old school in terms of like defined roles, not to the point where you have to do this, you have to do that, but like I believe in like order, I believe in structure, just so things can get done. But I know that nowadays it takes two people. You gotta be on the same page. Division of responsibility and roles can shift. But like, you know, as a man, like I want to make sure that I can provide for my wife. You know, I can protect. I want to, you know, make sure like those pillars are intact. I'm not the best cook, but I could try. You know.
Yeah.
YouTube.
You know.
It's the effort.
So like I can pull my weight in other areas, but I may not be like well versed in those areas. So like I need someone that can like fill those gaps. And like my wife does a lot of things amazingly well, and so like
Nice.
we actually like help build, and we just propel each other, you know, up. So
then what's the difference between that, right? Like you're saying that we collaborate, and I would argue that I'm pretty independent and you're a traditional guy
who's also independent.
who's also independent.
Don't leave
What's
that
the
out.
difference between that
So what you
and
tried to
what
do
you
there.
guys are talking about?
I think that the
Wait, I didn't hear the
defin-
question. I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, because she went there.
What's the
No, she went
difference
in the good one. It was a good question.
Okay,
It was a
good,
good question.
good.
No, really.
I would say that I'm pretty independent. You are saying that you're independent and also traditional. What's the difference between what you're describing, which is that collaborative thing, and what's happening right now?
In this conversation of
In the
independence, the
climate
idea.
right
Today's
now.
world. Today's
In the climate right now with dating.
I think it also, I'm sorry, just real quick. I think it
Yeah.
also depends on like where you are in your life and what you're looking for, right? So we have different stages, you know, wanting to get married, single and dating. So it's like wherever you are, you might be more like susceptible and receptive to certain personalities, certain stages of development, that kind of thing.
Right.
So for me, like I was in a place where, you know, having an independent woman wasn't a problem, because like that's what like attracts like for me.
It should never be a problem anyway.
It's not a
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
you know. So I think it's a matter of like finding common goals, finding you know, someone that's going to help and support you with your dreams that we can build, because that's what we're doing right now. So it wasn't an issue as far as like with our connection, our relationship. Other people might have a problem with that because they might be in a different space. They could, you know, want different things. So I think on an individual basis, it's going to be different. But we talk like in general, I think the fact that people are termed independent could have a negative connotation, because it's like, I don't need you, when in fact we need each other.
Exactly.
You know.
But that doesn't make y'all independent then. That makes y'all a collaborative
Right.
effort.
Right.
Just you're independent in the aspect of your individuality, and
As a
you
person.
have different things that you
Yes.
want to do that you actually
I'm
go
pretty,
after.
I'm pretty like you said I like control.
So basically, you say like you would, if we weren't together, you would be like Robin Givens and Boomerang,
Yes.
right? That's kind of like the vision that you had
Yes.
if you weren't married.
Yes. And you say I like control. Is that the kind of woman that's out
Robin
there now?
Givens got broken in that movie. Let's just get that right.
Ah,
Halle Berry.
She
won.
got broken.
Halle Berry won. In the
She
end.
got broken.
That's right.
Let's
Yeah,
just-
and
no,
it was a
because-
movie. And it was a
Boomerang.
movie.
Boomerang,
it was a
lovely
but
movie.
Guess what? You know what? The fact that y'all have feelings is not a movie though.
yes.
Right.
No,
That-
I think
the-
that, yeah, I think that, I think, well, as for me, I'm independent, but I feel independent means that if I have you or not have you, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Which we understand.
But I
that.
do have feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, again, you have a mature definition of independence.
Gotta
What
define what
these-
independent, yeah.
what these-
Right.
What they spitting out here is not.
Right.
They don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Right,
saying?
I know. Yeah, of
They
course.
spitting just to say something.
Right.
to claim something.
They could wake up and feel, okay, you know what? I want to be independent today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, wake up and say, well,
So
I
then-
want to
so-
be taken care of.
So then circle back to the word dating,
Yeah.
right? So you
Independent. You guys can switch lanes. It's optional for y'all. It's mandatory for us to be independent.
Interesting. Interesting.
but check
It
it
is
out though.
good
But check
point.
it out. You
Really good
guys,
point.
you guys
It is
defined
mandatory.
independence,
Really
but then circle back to dating,
Yeah.
right? And what's the ultimate goal for dating? Are you dating for hookups? Are you dating to like eventually, go to marriage?
I
But
think
in
I think the main just before you even go, I think that the main point of dating is for information. It's for you to gain knowledge of each other.
That's-
I don't. This is not. You shouldn't be just running to get married just because you feel like okay, this one. No, you're supposed to. The dating aspect is there for a reason. It's for the information for you to understand where you guys fit together spiritually. Number one. You know what I mean? And idealistically, when you think about how do y'all mesh together? How can y'all actually move in this one space together? Not as separate entities, but together. You
But
know,
then
There-
dating has changed over the years, though.
That's my.
So
yeah.
think about it, like back
People
in,
don't date now.
Back in the 40s and 50s, whatever, like people dated 1 or 2, 3 dates and they got married, right? And so like if you're saying dating's for information is different now because you do it online, right? So you want to make sure boxes are checked before I even like meet you in person. Then you might talk on the phone, long distance dating. So it's like if you said you're
Which is-
old school, you want to meet in person.
I want to meet in person,
which is
because
how
I
we
can
met.
see.
Authentically.
authentically
Yeah.
in real time.
But then,
And-
do we really call what's happening online dating? Then
Authentic. Do we call it authentic?
Do we call it authentic or dating?
It's interacting.
It's
Interactive.
interacting.
And very
Interacting.
transactional.
Thank you.
But see,
Because
that's
you-
what we
That's
live in
what
today.
it is.
Right.
Today
That
is an
mark-
instant
yeah.
gratification society. Amazon, you get it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pick my mate dating. Okay,
Yes.
boxes
Yeah.
checked.
You wouldn't
And so that's how
and then
you-
you get it, and it's like I want to send it back, Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's going on? This
Yeah,
is-
because people build a profile. That doesn't mean that they're really the
Thank
people.
you.
and
They
is
can
the
write in-
profile
People can-
accurate?
Right. Exactly.
What they
Don't
catfishing,
put
what they call
a
catfishing?
1993 picture
Yeah.
and you roll up in here and
Y'all
you
men do it too.
posted. Oh, that's what I'm
No,
talking
women
to.
do. Women do. women
That's
do
who
that
I'm
all the time.
talking to is men.
Y'all
No,
wanna,
but women
do y'all
do
really
that
want to?
a lot.
Yes, we
go
do,
there.
Don.
Go there.
Let's talk to. Let's
Doesn't
talk
make
to.
it right. It
hear what
doesn't
you're
make it right.
Go,
What's your
Don.
experience?
Those are some nice filters y'all got.
I know. Thank
Some
you.
nice filters.
Thank you, because they'll never look like that in person.
And don't let you
Right.
comment on it when you see it in person.
Oh,
Like
right.
Right.
double takes and everything. I wouldn't
Right.
know. 'Cause
No,
I don't.
you want
Hypothetically,
you
Yeah.
want
thank
something.
you.
You want something to be like, are you? No, my name's Dave. Thank you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like for
You
real.
got to bring the shade just in
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
of-
You know.
You know, one thing that I was told by one of my little cousins was these modern day women, as you call it, don't want an authentic connection.
No.
They want to be connected based on their aesthetic and what they show you they are. And they want you
That's
to
true.
buy into that.
Very true.
And
But why though?
Well,
Because they spent
because they don't
$20,000
dollars
on
to
it.
create
So
that
they
create that
invested.
Interesting.
into
of
hiding
themselves.
themselves.
So now they want exactly what they want.
But they never
Because
get
they
it. That's the
This is what I
invested.
invested. Yeah,
But
this
they
is
never get it. That's here's the thing. When you continue to try to do something over and over and over again, and you still don't get it, when do
Insanity.
you learn? When do you learn to not do it?
So then,
Instantly.
Then you got them
Yeah.
all. Then you have them reversing now.
Try
You got all
something
these
different.
women
Right.
are going back to the doctors like, I can't do this anymore.
That's
Take
what
these
they
implants
say.
out.
yeah.
Take this out. No, I mean I've seen the before and after pictures.
Oh.
So when I know when they tell them the truth, it's like there's a lot of celebrities that are actually reverting now.
Go
Yeah.
back
They're
full circle.
taking-
Go
they're
back
like-
to how they were in the
Yeah.
They're
beginning.
taking the implants out. They're taking it. I mean,
Because
they're
they're not
actually
getting
and
the
they're feeling
results they
like
thought they would
I've
get.
never felt like
and
a
it
real
because
person.
because it does not touch your soul.
Yeah,
Because it does not heal the wound.
It doesn't.
It does not. All of the wounds, and that's what I was talking about. They put all of this stuff on top so that you never get to
You never
who they
get to
really
that.
are, and they don't
Oops,
get to
sorry.
who they really are. You
Exactly.
know, and so the what they think it's supposed to do, it doesn't do. And then they try to revert. Guess what? It turns into a crazy cycle because
Oh, yeah.
even if you stretch yourself out, then now you have to deal with the cuts and this and that, and you're tucking and you're doing all
Yeah,
of this
you gotta
stuff.
you gotta deal with
and
all that.
of that to avoid getting to the truth about you, getting to the trauma, getting to the pain, getting to the things that
You know why?
I actually wonder
People
if women
can't
are
do
doing
it.
that because of men, though. Right?
probably.
Are women having
Some.
to revert to those measures because men have created an
Such a
aesthetic
shallow-
of what women need to look like?
Men
No,
have,
I don't
men
think
have
so.
created an aesthetic.
No.
Yeah,
Women-
you know.
No.
Absolutely.
I
No,
think
I
I think
think-
women are in competition with
Absolutely.
each other,
Thank
so
you.
it's like
That
you,
too.
you see.
That is
Y'all
definitely
That
competitors,
too.
I don't know what. Y'all,
That too.
Interesting.
That too.
No.
But that's not. I feel like there's half of them for the men that are doing it because of what men like. I know many women that got breast implants because a man wanted them and
Yes.
paid for them.
True. I get that.
So,
I've seen
yes.
That
people do that
exists.
too.
Right.
That exists.
But
It
I
exists.
also know that women do it for other women as well. They're constantly in competition with these images, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if it's over. You know, I feel like it's over sensationalized where back in the day, they would have a woman with a bikini on advertising a refrigerator.
Yeah.
And it started to
No, it's
build.
true.
It's true. And it's
Sexuality. That's what became the
did.
biggest
Yeah.
profit on TV.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was
Yeah.
probably
And
created
telling
by
the
men.
weather too. I
Right.
heard
Of
in
course,
Mexico
that was created
That
by
was-
men.
You
And
said
I-
what, Don?
they got a meteorologist that looks.
Weather
Yeah.
She looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Insane.
Yeah, I think in Mexico.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
They
Mexico.
Oh,
actually
yeah, I know
do
you're
it.
talking
They
about.
do
Yeah.
it. In actually, she's in Mexico City. She's actually in Mexico City.
Yeah.
She's in Mexico City,
Yeah.
and she actually's in a bikini.
What?
Oh, really?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. She's
Oh.
actually in
I
a
know
bikini.
usually she just
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
really,
But
really.
what we're
fit.
saying is, was the origin
Nice.
of that women being jealous of women?
I
Because if
think-
men had control of what we looked at, especially in the 40s and the 50s and the all
Yes.
of
Yeah, very
that,
true.
Yes.
that sounds like that was a man thing.
It was a man thing. I totally agree.
But check it out. It's all done for attention, right? Attention from who? Attention for possible mate, dating, guy, girl, self-love, like elective surgery. Cool, do it if you want to do it. But it's funny how people circle back to what they were in the very beginning, and you just could have worked on what you had. in the
You
very
worked on what you
Yes.
had, and
Yeah.
that's
It's like,
the
it's like
key.
you go through the journey of doing this for whatever reason, and you come,
come
back
back full
oh,
circle.
wow, I really didn't need it, but I took that journey,
You took that journey.
and time happened, more experience, lessons learned.
Yeah.
You realize I was good from the very beginning. So that's like
I-
internal.
That's the
self-love.
problem, though.
Internal,
Right.
interesting.
Nobody is actually in a place where they're in acceptance of who they already are. You
'Cause
have
they're all beautiful.
you have enough to start with.
Yeah.
Period.
And then
Yeah.
enough guys, there's enough women out there, different types, size, whatever. That there's a guy for every woman out there.
Yeah.
that like,
Yeah.
likes
I
the
believe
different-
That has
I
a
believe
liking to
Has,
something.
yeah, yeah.
I believe that. I have a question. Let's talk about the reverse. Men out here, what is the basis for the men out here that are like grinding?
Yeah,
I'm
good
grinding. Like, how much money do you have to really get?
Yeah.
And the money and being so committed to the grind can completely extract you from
Oh,
your family
no,
unit.
most definitely.
And now you don't even have time to watch your kids grow up. You don't have. And who are they doing it for?
Yeah.
Who are they? Are they doing it for other men? Because I know men are occupational. So, you know,
True.
is it to try to, you know, be the most wealthy person in the room, or the most is
Survival.
pride
It's-
related?
Yeah, no.
No,
I was
because
gonna- I was
they
gonna say-
over.
Survival.
No. Here's the thing. It's also fear based.
Yeah.
The entire thing is fear based. It's the fear of not having, and being clowned for not having.
Money, not having money.
Not just money though.
Well, providing.
No,
the
but-
security that you
but
wanted.
then you're leaving the family
And
to
that's-
go out and work to
Which is true.
provide over. I'm not talking about regular jobs. I'm talking about the grind that
Oh, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
is. I'm grinding. It's like, well, guess what? Your kids would love for you to be there when they're going
Yeah.
to sleep. They would love for you to.
But it's a
I
different
agree.
time, though. I mean, look at where you live. If you live in Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, it's super expensive just for housing.
Yeah.
Then you got to have a car. Then you got to pay for like food,
Yeah.
education, entertainment.
But it's
There was-
definitely
People are more
it's
comfortable being
definitely-
single because they only got to take care of themselves
Exactly.
versus
It's definitely a
family.
two person. Both people need to work.
to work.
Especially in Los Angeles.
most
I do
definitely.
agree.
I
Right.
will say too, to add to what you're saying, I do wonder if sometimes women can create some of that though too. One of my clients was talking about a video that was out there about how a regular guy would be walking down the street and try to get a girl's number, and then she would say no, and then walk up to a nice car. He would walk up to a
Exactly.
nice car, and she'd say, "Is that your car?"
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
that's all. You know
those
what
videos are
those
crazy.
are videos. Yeah, I know
Really?
half those
I haven't
cats. I know
seen
those
them.
cats. They're on YouTube all the time.
Is that a
It's-
thing?
Yeah, it's
That
a
is a
thing.
thing.
Very much.
Does
Oh,
that
that's a-
contribute to
It's
you guys
really
having
sad.
to
Yeah,
work
it
that
is
hard?
sad. It is sad because also trying to get into a club or something, like the regular guys never
They never
get
get in.
action.
They can't
And
get
they
no
can't
action.
even get in
Yeah.
half the
Yeah.
time, but they
Yeah.
can't even get action from girls because
So are we
they're
a
too
product of our
regular.
environment then?
Yeah, I
all
think
are
so.
now.
Okay.
We create.
But you,
I think that.
but you were asking. Well, go ahead.
No,
No, you go ahead.
I want you
No, I
to
just want to
finish.
say you were asking, does that set the bar for us to aspire to be that kind of guy?
Right.
No, because we don't want that kind of girl.
We don't
Boom.
want that kind of girl. No, real men don't want that kind of
That
girl.
was the deep.
Mm.
But also, just to cap on what he said, the guys that do want that kind of girl, they only want you as a plaything for the evening or a couple nights. They're not gonna ever wife you.
Okay.
You're never gonna be wife material ever. The wife material. I'm just. Listen. I'm just keeping it. I'm keeping it a buck.
Yeah.
Men who are really about having a home life,
About their
they're gonna
business.
pick you. They're gonna pick you.
Yeah.
They're not gonna pick Miss Instagram model with the fake this, that, and the third.
Stay on Instagram. We'll just like.
Stay on Instagram.
Just like-
That's it.
That's it. We'll like it, and you know what? If we got to throw a couple dollars to get some, we'll do that too. I'm not ever gonna do that. But I'm just saying.
Speaking for a friend.
doing that.
Speaking for a friend.
I'm just saying. I ain't down with that.
Speaking for a friend.
Go back to the world. Daddy ain't doing that. I'm just saying. No, but I mean, you know, I think, and just even going and capping on what we were talking about as far as marriage is concerned, one of the biggest problems is that this society now has convinced the modern day woman and man to buy into marriage being a contract. It has never been a contract. It's supposed to be a covenant, not a contract.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest problems right there.
I have a question. What are we saying is submissive? What does it mean to be a submissive woman?
That's another word that's been blown out of proportion because just like independent, just about all these different things, everybody has their connotation of what it's supposed to mean. But in actuality, the submissive aspect, it doesn't come from you just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah, it's
That's not what submissive is.
at all.
Are you
It's
sure?
not that. It's not that.
Well, what-
it's
but
just
that's
the
what you
ability
got-
to help us and the ability to want to help us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, God
want you to
created.
But
wanna
people
do
have
it.
it warped.
Yes, that's my
People
point.
definitely, men
Their
have it
brains
warped.
Are crazy
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of men out there that think that you are supposed to be
Under them.
under them.
Yeah.
Oh, you do what I tell you because you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to break it to you, bro. But when God created, you may not have been present when he was talking to Adam first, but you was inside him. That's why he was able to pull you out of him.
The woman was.
The woman was inside you.
Mm-hmm.
You were created to be man and female until God separated you to make you a helpmate. You're a helper. There's no beneath.
Yeah.
There is no beneath.
So then does
yeah.
submissive mean you do what I say?
No.
Oh
No.
my gosh!
No,
Look, she's
not
ready to
even-
get that
not
up.
Even, not even,
Listen,
She want,
me.
no, what she wants.
You
she
do
wants,
what I
she wants,
say.
she wants
No.
clarity.
Let him talk. Let's
That's
start
fair. That's
talk.
fair.
no.
That's
Let's
fair.
start
Let the brother talk right
No.
now. Let the brother finish.
I want to hear your
Yeah.
your
No,
Yes.
listen.
No, let him
Husband
talk.
of
Let him
mine.
answer
Yeah,
her question.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, they want you to. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and all joking aside, I believe, you know, in the same. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said because you hit it perfectly. Like for me, I never wanted someone to tell me what to do, so I in turn will not tell anyone what to do.
You tell me what to do all the time.
But it's in joking. You know I'm not serious
I don't know
though.
if you're not.
He knows you don't like it. That's why he does. It's just
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
but then why
okay.
do it if you know that she doesn't
No,
like
but
It's
it?
because it's
Oh,
funny. It's
my.
not serious.
It's not funny.
It's not
Yeah,
funny.
no.
Let me ask
So
you
she
this.
really
No,
doesn't.
no,
like
no,
it.
no,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
I'm
Let's
asking
stay
a
here.
question
Let's
about
stay
that in
here.
terms
No, I
of,
want to
like-
stay here.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
staying here. I'm
Yeah.
staying
Go,
here.
go, go, go. Yeah.
The question is okay. Why does it have to be a thing in the first place about who's telling who something? Y'all together.
Yeah.
if I
Preach.
ask you to do something, or I tell you to do something, and you tell me to do something, listen, we're in this together.
teammates.
It don't even matter.
Yeah.
It's like I'm talking to myself anyway. You
Yeah.
came out of me.
Yeah.
But individually, you could say yes or no. You ask, so you can't force anyone. You can, but
Exactly.
it's not right. But I can't force you to do something, and in turn, you can't force me. But hopefully, through
You would want
dialogue,
to.
but hopefully, you'd want to do
Yeah.
something. For
Well,
me,
I
and
think
vice-
that it's.
and
I
vice
think that it's.
versa.
I think. Go ahead, Don. You go.
Yeah.
Now I was just gonna say, where are the parameters? Hey, babe, can you bring home some orange juice on the way home?
There is no
Right.
parameters.
But
There
I
is no
think-
I'm asking
No.
her.
There is no
to-
parameters. Though.
Well, I think that it's
I think
healthy.
That it's
I
for
think-
both of them. It's equal.
Yeah,
But that's asking you to do something.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was trying to get around to. Ask you stuff
Like
like
what?
what?
Like,
Okay, here we go.
when I ask why, he's like, why can't you just do what I said? Why you gotta ask questions?
But what is it
'Cause
in regards
it might
to?
be a-
Because it could
Yeah.
be like, babe,
Okay, so
I gotta-
check it out.
I got something to add to that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like real talk,
Don't forget.
wifey's a marriage and family therapist. She's about asking questions.
Yeah, fair.
As a person, she likes to know details.
yes.
Yeah.
Guys,
We don't
we
always
don't
want- We don't
always
give
think to
details.
provide
It's
details
true.
off jump.
Right.
Right,
We-
naturally. Right.
So we'll answer questions, but then if one question becomes another question,
Becomes
it
another question, it's like, okay, look.
it's overload. So
Right.
let's cut to the chase.
So
Right.
am I not being submissive if I'm asking too many questions?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. So
There's
you're
a
challenging.
If
subconscious
it's
layer
just-
there, though.
So I
challenging.
think there's layers. I think over time, if it becomes to the point where you're expecting to to be bombarded with a bunch of questions, then you're kind of like, can you just do it, please? Like, we'll have to explain,
Oh, okay.
but just like mix it up a little bit. It's like, okay, cool, okay, but
Yeah,
da-da-da-da.
right,
Mix it
right,
up a
right.
little bit.
But here's
Mix it up a little
Because
bit. I love that.
Subconsciously, though, it interferes slightly. It interferes with the trust you have in him to lead.
Exactly.
So you think
It does.
by
let's-
me asking questions,
It could. I don't
might-
know if that's true.
it
Possibly.
might communicate
Yeah.
to him that I don't trust him.
In a sense,
His leadership.
because now if he's a simple instruction or advanced instruction, it could be
Or request.
If you question it or ask for more details, it kind of feels like you don't.
It's like,
really support.
really?
Maybe all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe if you question it all the time, it can make him feel like you're questioning his leadership.
Yeah.
like you're just apprehensive.
All
But
the
that
time.
I think that comes from your profession,
Being
though.
being independent.
That's your
I think,
profession.
both
And
of
being
those things.
independent.
But I don't.
both of those things.
I don't even think that it really has a lot to do with the independent aspect.
Yeah, she can-
No, what I'm saying, no, I'm not trying to discount it. What I'm saying is, I don't think it comes from that place.
I do, because I know professionally, she, as her friend, I know that she's able to disconnect and have a real time conversation with me and not be my
Yeah, but you
therapist
and
when I'm
him
talking
are
to her.
different.
But we both have intimate relationships with her. So what I'm saying is, I think that knowing her, I think her independence may make her question why it's not her therapist's mind. She's naturally inquisitive, and that's why she became a therapist.
Yeah.
So it's not
Okay, I
like
can-
she,
yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
see
I'm
that.
saying her natural way of thinking is detail oriented. That's
Yeah.
why she chose a therapist
Chose
as a profession.
Yeah, I can
But
understand that.
when Sarge asked her to do something, I think that she's asking because she really is, it's based on independence. And sometimes I would say this as an independent woman, sometimes I'm trying to say it right. Sometimes you, Sarge, just no disrespect to you, and I'm just talking about, sometimes you want to know how important it really is that I need to do this, or how relevant it really is. And then sometimes that's the problem, because whether we view it relevant or not, we need to do it sometimes. Is what
I
I'm
do agree
saying.
with that, because I think that for me, as a person who has been able to, like, survive independently, I might have an equally valuable way to get to a route, right? So I have a good idea,
Different than
you
the
have a
way.
good idea,
Right.
and I want to understand which one is the best, maybe, right? Is that not submissive?
No, I think that if you guys have that understanding to begin with, then it's not. It's about communication.
Well, let's ask Sarge, how does it make you feel?
Yeah.
So again, I never really thought about it in this kind of detail. So luckily, I'm on the show now, so I could think about it in real time. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you just like
First
that's
and last
my
time
wife.
on this
You're
show.
Like, that's just my wife. Yeah, it's just my
No,
wife.
but like,
First and last.
Yeah, you heard him, right?
I've never thought myself as being the kind of person it's my way or the highway. That's not what I want for
dumb
myself
thinking.
or like my
It
my
is.
marriage, my family. So I think she knows that.
You're a smart man.
I
Yeah.
think
I don't
I
always
said
know
I
that.
I
think
agree.
I
Really?
said I think she knows that, but if I have to
Your
reinforce it.
Leo-ness wants to be in charge.
So like I said, so there's certain inherent things that like maybe are just coming out. But I think, you know, I can accurately accept positive feedback,
Aw, love it.
constructive criticism. No, come on now.
I'm just playing.
Thank you. Make me out to be like
See,
some-
that was
No,
submissive.
no. Honestly,
But like, but look, no, I'm trying to like navigate and do this in
Right.
real time, as is my thought process. So like, if you're saying certain things I do or make me feel a certain way, let's have a conversation about it, and I can, in turn, try something different. A lot of times, I also feel like, you know, it's a two-way street. Like I know sometimes I can be in my own like lane, have my blinders on, kind of have tunnel vision. And
Oh, I
a
know
lot of
that.
times I'll feel like I need to just be like okay with whatever you're saying. So I have to kind of just be comfortable and like get out of my own way because it's a partnership. So to answer your question
Bingo.
in terms about how it makes
Bingo.
me feel, I wasn't really aware of it. Like I might have felt it was like joking or something, or just like I'm preoccupied with other things. I'm like, just can we just get this done? Because I have like 10 other things to do. But if it's making me feel a certain way, I wasn't aware, and I apologize.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Donnie said that was what I just did was submissive. I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Oh, I was
That
joking.
is. That is.
said I was
though.
just
That is. No, that,
Yeah,
I was
I
trying to-
just spit it out.
no, hold on. When you made the comment though,
Get out of there.
when
You
did
got my
make
back,
the
right? You got my
comment?
back?
He got his back.
Okay,
But hold
okay.
on. When did you make the comment? When
When she said she was just playing, and I was like, oh, that was submissive.
Was it?
I don't know.
But see, she was just playing though, because she was kind of like, it was light and fluffy.
It was-
So I'm thinking when I'm just saying certain things, if maybe it's being misconstrued a certain way that I wasn't intending for it to be.
Or maybe neither one of you guys are really just playing, but you say that
True.
when you know that you ruffle the other one's
So yeah, so like I
feathers.
think there's truth in even
Yeah,
in
the
joking.
reservation.
There's
There's truth in
a
it. Oh,
modicum
yeah.
of truth.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so like how you deal with it is like how
Yeah.
you like
Right.
convey and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's some truth in it. So,
yeah, when you choose to say certain things, the timing and the reservation matters.
Right.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
I agree.
But also, again, this is where what I would call acute communication comes into play. Because if you know each other,
That's a cute word.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you
Acute.
actually communicate, I mean, because that's just real. Because I think that we skim over these type of questions, like or this kind of communication. Because here's the thing: if you had this conversation beforehand, you don't have a conversation about something that you're not aware of. So it has to be brought to the surface. Let's have a conversation about this. Baby, this is how you made me feel when you said this. Or, you know, oh, well, you know what? I was in my mind. I was on something else. I didn't mean that. That's not how it was supposed to be taken. I apologize, whatever the case may be. And then you could look and be like, you know what? Why did I take that in the wrong way in the first place? So it causes you to question even your own self. And then y'all can have this conversation where now you've just opened the floodgates to real deep connection because now there's nothing blocking you.
Amen.
Do you
That's,
see what I'm
that's
saying?
good stuff.
Right.
That's
agree.
and that's
Nothing
maturity. That's
Yeah.
maturity, and that is really good stuff. Because what I just witnessed was motivational for me. That you guys actually just worked through that
Yeah.
right here,
front of us.
and
That's
in
what y'all
like
watching.
5 minutes. What you say?
That's because we're
Y'all
watching.
watching.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
She's alluding like
Don't do that.
we just
Don't
putting
do
on.
that.
He's putting on.
But you know what?
Don't do
But
that.
Wait till I
that's
get you
your- that's
home.
an
Wait
example-
till I
that's an
get you
example to both
home.
of y'all.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's an example to both of y'all.
Yeah.
That now that you just worked this out right here, take it home.
That's
Well,
what happens
what
on
I-
core.
And then
Work it out.
practice
That's
it.
what happens
That's what
on
happens. Take that home with you
And
and,
then
do
practice.
the same thing at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I love Kahara's transparency about it.
Yeah.
And it was a real thing to her, even though Sarge felt like he was just playing. She's like, I don't really know that you're just playing.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the
He
day,
opened up, though.
he said, listen, whatever I've done, if it does not sit well to you, then I will reevaluate how I do it, which is amazing to me. And it is a testament to why you guys are the beautiful couple that you are, an inspiration to a lot of us, you know,
thanks.
really,
Appreciate
because
it.
there are people that aren't mature enough to work through their problems and understand that nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, but together we have the opportunity to cover all grounds. You know, you're the things that you are missing, Sarge, she's stronger at, and vice versa, makes you guys completely a solid, strong unit. And a lot of people, I think you said it, Keanu, that people now aren't into the covenant.
Yeah.
You
it's-
know
yeah,
what the marriage
the covenant?
actually represents, and you guys are showing that to us.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks,
beautiful.
appreciate it.
Honestly,
Thank you.
it's
Appreciate
a
that.
beautiful thing. I think that you know, what my cousin was just saying though is just it's one of those things where you look at if it's a covenant and you're looking at it from that standpoint, then God's principles should be the head. In order for you for him to be the leader, you guys are already together. You guys are already married. But understand that for people who are trying to get together, trying to find that person again, see, women should not be getting with a guy who is not following God in the first place. Because God is the head. The man's supposed to be following God. And then his wife is supposed to be following him. The children are supposed to be following the mom. Do you see what I'm saying? So she's the covering over the kids in the household. While the man is being responsive to what God is telling him to do. So now you're able to trust that leadership because it's now being constructed and moved by the covenant. That's the covenant structure.
I think a lot. I'm sorry. I think a lot of times, what if you can't trust the leadership? Maybe if the head is not.
It's not
doing it-
connected. That's the
Well,
not
yeah.
connected,
If you're not connected,
It's not connected.
so everyone's not going to be connected.
Right.
no.
Right.
But
Right,
they need to
right.
seek to be connected. That's what I'm saying.
But
True.
some
No
people,
one's
That's how it should be.
That's how it should.
Just saying how it
should
is.
be.
Yeah.
But like in reality,
Yeah.
sometimes you got what you got.
Right, yeah.
exactly.
You got lemons. You got to
Yeah.
make lemonade. So
Yeah.
how can, people in the dating world, where they're trying to like find companionship, they're trying to find their person, their one. What can you do
Well,
if it's
Well,
not the ideal situation, but there's hopefully someone for everyone out there? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
It's
I was
Well,
actually
let me say this one thing. I didn't get an opportunity to look. Well, I didn't take the opportunity to look at Kevin Samuels. I heard about it a lot in the salon and everything, but what was the premise for him? Because it was like saying that women needed to be a certain size, or what was it? It was something.
No.
need to be submissive.
I think
and
shock
need to,
value.
need to be
Well,
what
fit-
they're asking
fit-
for.
well, hold
from
up.
other
Fit,
men.
feminine, and
hold up.
Fit, feminine, and what? What's the fit, feminine, and what?
and friendly.
Fit,
feminine, and friendly.
Fit,
So
feminine, and
those
friendly.
3 F's would get you.
Well, that's like the base point.
Well, hold up.
So-
I think a lot of people missed a lot of what he was trying to say.
The true
Now,
message.
what I do understand that there's a huge difference between the spiritual aspect of approach
Wait, are we
and the
gonna?
worldly.
Are we going all the way there?
I would like to.
I'm,
Well,
hmm.
should I take this?
Go
Yeah.
there.
I'll take it.
Go there, please.
Well, I personally think that a majority of women want men that are in the 1%.
That's true.
What is 1%?
The grinders, right?
The grinders, but like the
Well, the
high-
1% are actually
High
the rich.
income.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are
Let's
really-
really
they're
say
well
it. What
off.
it
Let's just
yeah,
say what
those
it
are the
really
rich.
is.
So what is rich? Millionaire?
So technically, if
Yeah.
you make over what 300,000 annually,
Over
you're
300,000
you're
and above.
classified as rich.
You're classified. Well, you're classified as being well enough to give a female a bag, so to speak, or she's able to do what
Yeah,
she.
to be more
You
specific.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Options unlimited. Right.
There
You got
you
a lot
go.
of money. You got options.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You could, yeah. Do what you want when you want.
So
And-
men are staying single because they.
I mean,
because women want
if
rich guys.
the majority of women do,
The majority of
and a majority of men aren't rich.
exactly, which
Some
is one
are
of the
comfortable,
points
some are
Kevin
well
Samuels-
off, but it might not be enough to meet that mark of
which
what.
is what Seven Candace was talking about.
That's
Kevin
what
Samuels.
that's
Kevin
exactly.
So is it that women want rich guys instead of quality men? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
They rather have, but is that something that he promoted or?
No, what he did was what Kevin Samuels did was he was very direct with what he was saying,
Mm-hmm.
and he was evaluating them
Very
based
straight.
on
Oh,
them.
jeez.
So if let's say you're a woman who is you're in your 40s, you have a kid. Let's say you got 2 kids, but even a kid, and you're average at best looking. Your upkeep is not even that great. Your health is not great because you're not in shape. You're not, but you're vying for the dude that's making 300,000 when you're not even on his radar. Because if I'm making 300,000, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
looking at you.
Right. Yeah. A lot
That's
of women
what he was
don't.
trying to make a point.
Right.
So you're sitting here turning down. He's like, well, why didn't you stay with the baby's fathers? Or you got more than one baby father? Okay, well, what made that situation good for you to leave? If it was good enough for you to lay down and have a kid by this person that you constantly calling a deadbeat or this or he wasn't this or that, but yet and still now you're saying you deserve someone in this percentage up here, but you gave the cookies away to somebody who was a deadbeat already. Now you're up in years, and if this dude wants another kid, you already said you don't want no more kids. So what is he supposed to do? So now he's supposed to spend his $300,000 a year on you. He can't get a kid from you. You're talking about now you're not going to even give him sex because you want to wait until you get married. You're not healthy. You're not in shape. This is the things he was saying. I'm just, and his points were real. Because when you look at the circumstance, you're like, how can you?
So wait, so do y'all agree? Y'all agree?
Yeah, it
with
sounds
him?
like you guys agree.
Do
I
we-
agree with that.
I-
So
I agree
you-
with you. Not. I agree with
should
you.
should
If
we
you're gonna-
disagree?
No,
Absolutely.
No, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold
Absolutely.
up. Wait. Hold up. Let me, no, I want to finish the aspect of it.
Right.
The reason why I say I agree with that is because if you're not doing anything for yourself, you're not going to do anything for me.
Right.
You're not going to do anything to help
Yeah.
move
That
us
part
How
I
you do
understand.
anything is
That
how
part
you
I
do
understand.
everything.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why would I do that to myself?
right.
So now you want me to raise your kid. I can't. I'm not getting anything, but I'm giving you everything. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
Don, do you agree?
Yeah.
I agree with
I tried to sugarcoat
I
it, but
agree with
That's
I
what
agree
I'm
with
saying.
some
I
of
agree
it.
with a lot of the points.
Yes.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah.
I think I said I don't subscribe 100% to him, but I
was
agree
gonna-
with a lot
right,
of
you're
these
not-
points. These
yeah.
points.
Yeah,
A
you're saying, well,
majority.
basically, it sounds like being unequally yoked.
That's what it is.
It sounds
Yeah.
like the oxen back in the day when unequally yoked was
Right.
biblical. The oxen was yoked to a jackass.
Exactly.
A donkey.
Yeah.
And a donkey is uncouth, untamed. You can't teach it to do anything properly. But the oxen is focused and on a mission.
And on a mission
to get to
do something,
To do
to do
something.
something, no
Yeah.
matter what it is.
But I want to say, based on what you said, go ahead.
And just to put a cap on what you said, the main goal is to continue the strong structure of black
It's strong,
families.
and that's what he was
Black
trying to
families.
And
do.
moving
Right.
forward.
He was trying
with
to.
strength.
He was trying
That's-
to.
That's
strengthen-
really what it is.
Yeah.
And
Not
different-
just to
you have to
be.
attack. You have to get them here first in order for
Right.
them to understand that this is the actual goal: is to actually rebuild the black family. And
Yeah,
he
that's
said
really
that
what the
all
goal
the
is.
time.
Okay,
Yeah, he
good.
did.
He said,
Good.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing this just because.
If-
First of all, he did it to the men first. Before
Yeah,
he
yeah, oh
even
yeah.
got
He
on
was.
the
He,
women.
yeah, he kicked
Oh.
our
I think
backs
the true
in.
message
People
was
don't understand
overshadowed by the shock value, the way
Yeah,
he
the
delivered it.
The way he
Yeah.
delivered
For
it.
sure.
Yeah, because
got
they're
lost in all
right.
of it.
Right.
And that must be why. Yeah, because from what I would hear women saying, it didn't make me want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And because I understand.
sensitivities, because he did the same thing to men.
Well, that's good, but I want to say
For 3
this.
years before he got to women.
Can I say something?
No,
please?
I'm just saying.
Can I
I'm
get a
hype
word
about it.
in?
It's
I'm
true
hype
though.
about this.
Please.
I'm hype about this.
I'm still mad
You didn't
about
touch the
that.
chord
mad
now.
about
Still mad about
You gotta,
this.
he has to play it now. Gotta touch it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that there are women, there are circumstances, there are customized circumstances. There are women that do have 2 children that are in their 40s that were left to raise their kids by themselves.
Yeah.
There are so many different situations, so you
That's
cannot put everybody. If you don't let me,
I want to, before, listen,
we gonna have a whole family
I am
reunion
so
fight where
not
there's
going- I'm so not trying to
ambulance
cut
is
you off.
called.
I know. I'm so not trying to cut you off.
Thank you.
I want you to keep going. I know ambulances. I just want to, as you are going forward, I just want to, because I think that one of the things was a little misconstrued because it wasn't so much that he asked all these questions. You know what I mean? He wasn't just blaming the woman. He was asking these questions, and based on their answer is how he went
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
wasn't.
that
He
makes
didn't
sense.
It
just
wasn't like
come
a
in.
blanket statement.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Broad
good.
brush
Like,
everything.
Okay,
No,
good.
It was
he-
individually based.
Okay.
Yeah.
he would
But to make his
ask-
point was a general
was
thing.
a general
Okay.
thing. That's all.
Yeah.
All right,
That-
here's the
so I
final,
want you-
Thank you.
question.
That's it. That's
Don't
it.
have
I
to be
want
the
you to
final.
kill
You
me.
can
That
ask
makes
more.
I want you to kill me.
No, I wasn't gonna kill you, but if that's honestly what you said initially was what was interpreted to me
To
in
you in
here.
here. And that's what
what made
the
me
case.
say, who is he
Yeah.
to
Yeah, no.
just give a blanket statement like that?
Yeah, no, it
when
wasn't that.
everything
Yeah,
is
no.
really customized for
And he
people.
asked
Because we
everybody.
can talk
Yeah.
about guys that been married 2 and 3 times. And
Absolutely.
we can talk about
Who
a
also
whole
have kids.
who
It
also
goes-
have
it
kids.
goes
We
both
know
ways.
y'all could drag us.
You
we
want me
get
to-
it.
No, but you're
I feel
absolutely
like I
right.
hear a Baptist drummer playing.
No, but it's true though. But I understand you didn't understand. That's
Yeah.
not what it was. He asked every female. He asked a series of heavy questions
And gave a customized
and
analysis.
gave customized analysis
get
to
it.
every one of them. The
Okay.
problem was that it was so many women that had similar situations that it seemed like it was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just talking about all these type of women. These women told on themselves.
Yeah, they did, and it's funny
Wow.
because we go to the rating, like, he would ask women what they would rate themselves. That answer tells a lot, believe it or not.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
He would ask.
He would ask them.
And what would they go
rate
up high
yourself-
or what?
Now,
would-
rate yourself from 1 to 10.
Can't
fresh
use 7.
face, out
Can't
the
use
shower.
7.
Can't use 7
Yeah.
Can't-
because 7 is a safe number.
It's a safe number.
and it's a good luck number.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And so women would.
Women would rate
They would say
themselves.
10.
They would rate themselves higher than what they were.
Wow.
Way
But then,
higher.
like, what I mean, it's like it's subjective again,
subjective,
but then
yes.
it just kind of
Subjective.
gives you some insight to like how people view themselves. So
Yeah.
of course you want to be realistic,
And then
put
he'll
yourself in a
ask
good
more
light, but then you
questions.
ask more questions.
Right.
But the
here's
Bible says, "Don't think more highly of yourself than you ought."
Thank you. And that's the problem because most of them thought that they were higher than what they were when they didn't have these women. They wasn't working. They were just looking for somebody with the bag.
Yeah.
And they
Wow.
said that out their mouth.
Yeah, they said it.
They
Yeah.
said this stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so
That's
final
why.
question
I
to
mean-
wrap.
Oh,
Wrap.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm more on
I
a
believe
covenant
it's
and
okay,
spiritual
it's okay.
way of approaching
I
this thing.
wanna
Not
understand-
Seven Kim this way. He's the world way.
Kevin Samuels.
But
I
that's what I
wanna
said, Kevin
understand-
Samuels.
He said
Okay,
Seven Kim.
Kev Sam. You know?
Kev Sam, you know, I call him that for
That's his
sure.
boy. That's his
my
boy.
homie. I call him that for sure.
And the final question: what would you guys say is the way that men and women survive
Together.
dating right now
Oh, it's
in the manosphere, especially?
in the manosphere.
The
Adjusting
renewing-
expectations.
A renewing of the
Yeah.
mind.
Being more realistic.
Realistic.
Or that's having a renewing of the mind.
Yeah.
You have to come to the table with an openness to want to learn from each other, to adjust, to want to grow together, to actually want to do something together, not this forefront of I'm independent and I don't need you.
Yeah.
That's
Humble. Humility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
humility. Otherwise, it'll never work.
Men and women. Even?
Yes, both.
Both.
What we all need is good examples of that, so
Yes.
that way we can aspire to have.
Inspired to do
Yeah.
to have that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree
Have any
100%.
feedback?
Yeah, I was just saying to kind of piggyback, like, just having positive role models, adjusting expectations.
Heavy, y'all.
Yeah.
Having y'all two.
Coolness.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I'm
Super
serious.
cool.
Yeah.
You don't realize that people watch you.
Yeah.
But it takes work
People-
though. So look,
If
here's
you
the
think
thing.
it's supposed to be easy,
Right. Anything,
not.
anything of true value should not come easy. You
not
should work
come
at it,
easy.
right?
You
Should
have to
keep,
work.
right? So like if the goals go from like being single, independent to dating to finding someone, marriage, family, legacy, whatever, okay? You just got to figure out like where you are on that spectrum, your journey, because there's some late bloomers, there's people that get it early, but then like do the self work, do whatever it takes to like position yourself to meet someone and receive them, because you never know when it's going to happen. Like when I met Kahara, I wasn't in the space to really like find someone, but when I met her, I was like, oh snap, she is a keeper. Thank
That's
you,
funny
Jesus.
because that's what I was going to ask
that's-
Don.
yeah.
I was going to
That's
say,
good stuff.
Don, is that you think that there is somebody specific that you are waiting for, and you'll know her when you
Oh,
meet her?
like
Like now being single and just saying like, I'm just out here, collecting data, dating, single,
Right.
But is there somebody that could come? I mean, is your heart prepared? Are you open to
am
it?
I ready for
Yeah.
the opportunity of meeting the person, my person?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, me being single, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
chilling. I'm
Yeah.
learning.
Intentional.
Right. I'm
Mm-hmm.
practicing the practices of being a better version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think personally that when I meet my person that it'll naturally just
well, yeah, that's
continue as
the
it
woman
should.
the woman that came out of your womb is going to make you feel like y'all have known each other your whole life. It's going to be effortless.
Right.
I
know?
would say too, as a woman, I think what I did differently with you than I did with any other person was I actually put in effort. I wanted you, and I felt like you were meant for me, and so I actually was vulnerable in ways that I'd never been before, and I was willing to be more open and receptive in ways that I never was before. I put a lot more on the line than I typically did, I think, actually.
You found your
I
rib,
did, and
man.
it bit me in the
And
butt.
yeah,
You
and
found
like
your rib.
yeah, and
He found his rib. That's what it was.
Absolutely.
And like I think also like hearing you say that, like I know like for myself too, like to truly be open to receive someone, like you said, you got to be open, transparent, but you can't bring like previous baggage from
No.
previous relationships into like what is right
Right.
now. You gotta have a clean slate, because that person's not deserving, and it's a disservice to bring other stuff.
Absolutely.
And that is-
And
and that
they
is so-
deserve that
That's why the
slate to be
self
clean.
work is
Most
important.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
is
That
so
that is so
true.
difficult to not do. That's why being single, you need to
Yeah.
understand how to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and get that old off of you by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to.
Like
You
don't do that. Like that's honestly that's a part of the reason why I am divorced or divorced in the middle of the divorce, because I was not given a clean slate. And my slate was clean. I was single and celibate for 10 years. And when you come in on the and there's like I feel like there was like a spiritual fog
Yeah.
that I stepped into, and it was not a clean slate. It was advertised as a clean slate. But the minute that I bought into it and decided to be vulnerable, I realized that I was competing not just with one ghost. There was a conglomerate, a compilation of a lot of old people, old habits, old traits, old everything. It just was not a clean slate. And to be connected to that situation as a empath, as myself, trying to clean out old stuff.
Cleaning as you go along. And that's
Exactly.
hard.
And it's
Yeah.
not my stuff to
Not
clean.
your stuff
So,
to clean.
it really made it hard. So I really, appreciate Don saying that he's taken time with himself to really realize how much damage has been done to him.
Yeah.
a lot of men suffer from things related to childhood, and there's traumas that they don't address because
don't go
it's
to
not a
therapy.
man.
It's not a
Therapy.
man.
It's not a
Yeah.
man if you're vulnerable, if you're broken, if you're hurting. But honestly, you
That's
do
what make you a
do
man.
like Sarge said, you do the relationship such a disservice bringing that garbage into some brand new territory. So it is very important. I know for me, I take time, and a lot of women do. But men usually go from one situation to
Yeah.
the next because they don't want to feel that. So I admire you, Don, for even being strong enough to actually do that, because it takes strength
Yeah.
to go that deep and actually eradicate any pain, any wounds, any, get to the root of it so that you can be some healthy, whole,
equally yoked.
and equally yoked and together for a lifetime. Because
Yeah.
then once you're free and clear, you actually can attract the person that God was meant for you the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what happened
No, I
over
agree.
here.
Yeah,
And
boo.
listen, I commend y'all, and I agree 100% with you. It's one of those excuse me. It's one of those things that men a lot of times will utilize the aspect of forgetting and blocking that pain by going from woman to woman,
Yeah.
woman to woman, that because they, the time when they actually allowed themselves to be vulnerable and open up, they got stepped on. Men ain't used to being stepped on because of them being men. They're like, well, what is this? I'm supposed to be in this leader position, even if they don't know how to be the leader yet. But that hurt will still keep them from achieving what they can achieve, the best out of them. They just, okay, the wall is up now. Now I'm just going to be out here with this one, that one, the next one, because it's something they don't want to think about anymore. They don't want to think about that anymore.
Yeah,
And
men
any
can
female-
remember from sixth grade,
From sixth
eighth
grade,
grade,
yeah.
her whole name,
Exactly.
who cheated on him.
Exactly.
Her,
And it's unfortunate, but then what compounds that is meeting all the wrong type of women who are exactly the opposite. And I mean, like, not even women they interested in dating because they already see it before it even, they're like, all right, she's drama, I ain't messing with her. They don't even want to see it because they already see how they act.
But see,
and it's
there-
not all women. It's only it's
Right.
a certain percentage of women. It's not all women, just like all men ain't terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
But the boundaries that whether it's a male or a female, the barriers around their heart, they're only going to attract people with barriers as well.
Very true, but they
So
don't know that.
no, but I'm
And
saying
it's
I'm
unfortunate.
just trying
Yeah.
to tell them, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
better to get to the root and try to, get
Dissolve
rid of
it, get rid of it.
Yeah, because what you are, you're going to attract.
Oh
So,
yeah, most definitely.
You know.
And whatever it is that you're feeling as a man thinketh, that's what he's going to speak out of his mouth, and that's what's coming to him
Yeah.
all day
Or
long.
either they put up then they start to become pretenders and fraudulent.
Yep.
And they they pretend like they are whole, and then they
And
start
they're
to
not.
attract the opposite sex, who they then abuse.
Yep.
Because now you have attracted somebody that you didn't have the capacity to be with.
Yeah.
But you knew what to put up. You knew what to put.
Yeah, he was able to put up that front, and was like,
Exactly.
Over time, everyone can't keep it up.
Right.
Yeah.
oh no,
That's-
So it's like
And then
you
by the
gonna
time you realize when you can, it's too late to
It's too
really try to
late.
conform to who you are and
Exactly.
try to attract who you need to be with.
so true. That's
right.
very
So
true.
that's why I think like the dating period, like I kind of joke with Kahar, but when we first started dating, I was like, babe, we got like a 2-year probationary period.
It was 5 years.
Oh, 5 years, whatever. Well, I
5
said it
years.
jokingly, but I wanted to
But
convey
it was
that
actually 5 years before
yeah,
you
yeah.
proposed.
But look,
Actually, that's good.
when you
Yeah,
find
I feel
someone
like
that you
that's
mesh
great.
well,
That's what happened to
time
me.
goes by quickly.
Yeah.
I agree.
But like I said that just to tell her, like, you know what, I felt because in the past I've dealt with some stuff. I felt like we live in LA, everyone's an actor, you can put on your best version of yourself. But I feel if you end it with someone for like X amount of time, whether it's like the time of a lease or a car loan, 3 to 5 years, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna see the ups and downs.
Yes.
Everyone can't keep it going strong
Right.
the
They
whole
cannot.
time. You're gonna see the
Yeah.
good, the bad, the ugly,
Ugly.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I said, if I can rock with her for that amount of time, then I said I'm not going anywhere. You got me. In my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, so strategically, let's just see if the heart and mind are on the same page. Let's see if the words and actions actually meet up.
Yeah.
And so that's how you see that consistency, so that you know, like, what you're getting is the true, authentic person.
Yes.
And you're not getting all the pretenders,
The
or
fluff.
the people that the
Yeah.
fluff and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So take that time to like date.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
it's kind of contrary to what Kevin Samuel said about if your intention is to like get married and stuff, you don't want to
But
drag
that
it
shouldn't
out
even be your
for X
intention
amount of
at
time.
first, though.
Right.
But it depends on like where you at and what your goals are.
True.
You know.
True.
Well, I know that. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
let
no,
you
no,
talk,
'cause that
but
was-
that I love that point, Sarge, because when we talked about the love bombing show, they flood the people that are fluff. They pressure you so fast
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
to
Quickly.
commit so fast. And
Pressure
they-
bursts pipes.
Exactly,
But
and
they
they
also say
Hilarious.
it creates diamonds too, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
Right.
no,
So
the kind that
Done.
you're talking
Yeah. Well, you didn't, but how do you know? And that's
Yeah.
what I was saying for women. I mean, women grow up looking at fairy tales. So if somebody comes along and you've been single and celibate and working and getting yourself together and raising your kid by yourself and doing all this stuff, and somebody comes along that you believe that that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
But if it's
You
too
believe-
good to be
you
true,
think
But
he's
it
Prince
wasn't too
Charming.
good to be true.
okay.
It
No.
was not too good to be true.
You felt
but
he was Prince Charming.
No,
Not so much?
hell.
He's like, hell no.
Hell no.
Not Prince Charming.
But
She's
But
like,
I'm
hell
saying
no.
that you believe that it's going to
It's
be,
going to be
a natural, and it's okay because if you're celibate, somebody is like, you think like, okay, yeah, you're not doing it. So you really believe that if somebody can stay through a certain amount of time, but the rushing, the proposing in 2
yeah.
months, the getting married in
Red
9
flags.
months.
Yeah, those are.
But
yeah.
if you don't know what
If
to
you don't know
look
what to
for,
Right.
that's the thing.
So role models, healthy examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you
giving
know.
it time, being patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time is your friend.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I
thank you
mean-
guys so much for being on the
We got to
show.
come back. I had a good
I
time.
think, no, we
At
did.
first, I had some reservations, but I kind of find my stride and everything, and I was
You started galloping.
like, man, you know what I'm saying?
You're like, I started galloping. Like, what's going on here?
Man, I'm a jockey now.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
That's
I think,
hilarious.
Yo,
Coming on and giving
definitely
your
got to be.
perspective.
You definitely got to have a part two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I think
should.
so.
Possibly a part two. Let's
We'll
make
have
this
you
a
guys
mini series.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Good stuff.
guys.
Thank you guys.
All right. Bye, you guys. See you
Bye.
next time. Part 2 coming up.